What's happening to DeFi? The market cap just went parabolic. Is it BitConnect who is coming to DeFi? Unfortunately, I can't tell you when is the next time we're going to see Carlos Matos. However, what I can tell you is that something absolutely groundbreaking just happened in DeFi. Compound just introduced a new idea called liquidity mining, and this allows for a new investment strategy called yield farming. With yield farming, investors can earn some insane return like 50 or even 100%. So in this video, I'm going to explain what is yield farming, and I'm also going to give you 2 recipes that you can use right now to try your first yield farming strategy. And if you don't know me, I'm Julian, and on my channel EatTheBlocks, I teach blockchain development and how to find your first blockchain job. And before we continue, make sure to register for my free training on Flash Loan, where I will teach you how you can create your first profitable Flash Loan on Ethereum. Everybody wants your money. The government, your banker, your kids, your wife, your ex-wife, and also many DeFi protocol. Why is that? Because when you have a DeFi protocol like a decentralized exchange, the more liquidity provider, the smaller the difference between the buy and the sell price. That's what we call to tighten the bid-ask spread. And this in turn make it more attractive for traders to trade on this exchange. So you're gonna have more traders that come, and it's going to produce more trading fees. So that's going to be more trading fees for the exchange, but also for the liquidity providers. And in turn, it's going to attract even more liquidity provider, which will tighten the bid-ask spread even more, which will attract even more trader. And this is going to trigger this crazy chain reaction until total world domination is achieved. But there is just one little problem to this crazy plan. There are many DeFi protocols, so how can you be competitive to convince liquidity provider to pick your DeFi protocol and not another one? Well, that's a question that was answered brilliantly by Compound, who introduced liquidity mining. With liquidity mining, Compound is going to reward usage of its protocol. So anyone who uses the protocol, it doesn't matter if it's a liquidity provider or a trader, will be given some comp tokens. So this is a governance token that allows to vote on the evolution of the Compound protocol or some parameters such as which token should be listed on Compound. And as soon as they introduced this new mechanism, they saw a massive surge in usage of their protocol, as well as a huge increase of the value of their comp token. And that was actually the main reason for this huge increase of the market cap of DeFi. So all of this is very interesting, but what's the relationship with yield farming? I'm going to explain you this just after. So now we will see our first practical example of yield farming by using the reward mechanism for comp tokens in the Compound protocol. So there will be about 4 million comp tokens that will be placed into a reservoir contract, and these will be distributed over time to users of the Compound protocol at a rate of about 3,000 per day. For each distribution of token, it's going to be allocated to the different market of Compound proportionally to the interest that they receive. So the market that have high interest will receive more token. The market with lower interest will receive less token. And within each market, 50% of comp tokens will go to supplier, so liquidity providers, and 50% to borrowers. And user will receive comp token proportionally to their balance. So the plan is to be a liquidity provider on the Compound and to earn both the supply rate, so that's our reward for being a liquidity provider, and also the comp token. And for that, we need to choose which token we are going to provide. So we go to the website of Compound in market overview, and we're going to see the different lending rate for the different token. And what is interesting for us is supply API. So that's the interest rate we're going to get just for lending the token. So the distribution of comp token is not included in this figure. So here 25% for BAT token, that's pretty crazy. Let's scroll down, and that's the highest. So we should provide some BAT token because that's really the highest yield we're gonna get, and on top of it we'll have our reward of comp token. But the problem if we do this is that we expose ourselves to the price of the BAT token, and that's not necessarily something that we want. So in order to mitigate this risk, what we could do is to borrow the BAT token from another protocol, and so this way we don't really care that the price token goes up or goes down because we don't really own it. We just borrow it, and we just need to make sure that we have enough collateral in the other protocol in order to cover our borrow of BAT token. So let's go to DeFiRated.com so that we can compare the borrow rate for different assets across different protocol. So we want to borrow BAT, and the rate for borrowing BAT are pretty crazy. On Aave it's like 100%. Wow. So on Nuo it's 10.38%, so it would work. So we are going to borrow BAT token here on Nuo at 10.38, and then provide it to compound and get 25%. So we're going to make a profit. And if we want to estimate what's going to be the total profitability of the operation, we can go to predictions.exchange, go to compound, and here we scroll down, and here, for example, if we supply, I don't know, 100 BAT token, what's going to be the profitability of this? So we click on calculate my annual comp distribution, and so in 1 year we will in this many comp token, so that's about $10 plus $6 of interest, so total that will be 67% of net NPY, and of course we need to deduct the fee that we'll pay to Nuo in order to borrow our BAT token. So that would be about 56% net. So that's really not bad. And of course here we assume that the interest rate will not change, which will not be the case because these are variable interest rate. We also assume that the price of comp token will stay the same, and that's also not a true assumption. So this was a basic yield farming strategy where you combine the reward from being a liquidity provider with the extra reward of comp token. But there are also some more advanced yield farming strategy, and that's what I'm going to show you just after. With this advanced yield farming strategy, you will be able to get several reward tokens, not just one. And this is possible because we're going to combine several DeFi protocols. The general idea is that you're going to invest in a first DeFi protocol in the liquidity pool. So that will give you some liquidity tokens that prove that you have invested in the pool, and with these liquidity tokens you're going to reinvest them in another DeFi protocol, and it will also give you the right to other tokens as reward. So it's a sort of compounded reward, and potentially we could also use the liquidity token of the second DeFi protocol to also reinvest in another third DeFi protocol. So this can go really far. So let's see how this works. So the reward you're gonna get are these tokens here. So SNX, the token of synthetics, Gen token. So Gen BTC is a bridge between Bitcoin and Ethereum. It allows you to buy some Gen BTC, so ERC20 token that represent the ownership of a Bitcoin but on Ethereum. Then Curve token, so these are tokens of the Curve protocol, which is an innovative decentralized exchange with an advanced pricing formula, who is quickly becoming very popular for stablecoins. And finally, BAR token. So this is the token of the balancer protocol. So let's see how this works exactly. So in input, you can provide any of these three tokens, so Gen BTC, WBTC, SBTC, and you invest them on Curve Finance. So here, this exchange, and Curve Finance is going to give you some liquidity token in exchange, and this liquid token are going to give you right to the CRV token and BAL token, and after this liquidity token you're going to reinvest them on Minters. That's a project of Synthetics, and it's going to give you some SNX and Gen token. So Minter, this is this project, so you're going to reinvest the liquidity token of Curve. So in the end, you're gonna get 4 different tokens as a reward. So here, contrary to Compound, we're not gonna get any supply rate. The reward is entirely composed of tokens, but since we have many different kinds, it can be really interesting. So is yield farming the golden goose of DeFi? I wish it was, but there are a couple of risks and you need to be aware of them. First of all, there is the risk of a bug in smart contract. Even though there are tons of audit for the major DeFi protocols, the risk zero never exists. It's always possible that at some point in the future, some clever hacker figures out an exploit, and one morning when you wake up, you check the balance of your favorite DeFi protocol, only to realize that everything has been stolen, including your own tokens, and so you lose everything. Another risk, especially if you take some leverage, is market volatility. So if you use some leverage to further enhance your yield farming strategy, it's possible that at some point you need to provide even more collateral to secure some loan that you took, and if you're unable to replenish your collateral fast enough, then someone is going to liquidate your whole position and it's going to totally destroy your yield farming strategy. Market volatility can also interfere with your strategy if you need to borrow something in order to re-lend it at a higher rate, because in DeFi, for most of the DeFi protocol, rates are variable. So even if at a certain time you borrow at 2% to invest it at, I don't know, 6%, it's totally possible that this rate change and that you end up like paying more for what you borrow and you end up getting less for what you invest, which would make the trade not profitable. So what you should learn from this: first, you should treat this as a risky investment, so only invest what you can afford to lose. And second, make sure to always monitor your yield farming strategy. This is not something that you just set and forget. It really requires ongoing maintenance. And besides yield farming, flash loans are also super exciting, but it's not very easy to create profitable flash loans. That's why you should register for my free training on how to create profitable flash loan. This is on my website, EatTheBlocks, link in the description. I'll see you there.